I felt very good this morning with all of your calls and texts with rude places, and the moment has finally arrived. We've been talking about this all morning, rude place names. But, well, are we going to be able to get beyond the sniggering? I doubt it very much. Let's ask Ed Hurst. He's co-author of several books on this subject, Rude UK, Rude Britain and Rude World. Hello, Ed.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Well, I'm very immature, apparently, because I've been sniggering all morning. How old are you?
Well, I'm 34.
You should know better. I'm 40. Isn't the first reaction of people just to laugh and snigger in a very immature way to these?
It certainly is, and I should emphasise that these are intended to be serious scholarly reference books, and the fact that there are photographs of Jugs Close and Willie and Lickfold and Bell End and so on is really just intended to reclaim these names from the hands of the titterers and the sniggerers and explain why these are serious historical place names.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, this is what it says. This is what you say, isn't it? Rude-sounding names are of profound importance as they allow us to revel in the world's richness and diversity. As we get beyond tittering and come to take these places seriously, respect and awe at our common humanity will bind us together, speeding our progress towards lasting world peace. That's what you say, isn't it?
I certainly hope we can play a small part in that in that endeavour.
It's
yes.
just that's a load of wire piddle, isn't it? You're just doing this because people laugh. I mean, it's funny. We've had a laugh, and I think what's good is we've actually been able to say lots of words we wouldn't normally be able to say.
Well, if it helps to get over it, then I think that can only be a good thing.
So why have you really done it? You haven't really done it for academic reasons, have you?
Of course we have. You don't expect me to admit that it's anything else, do you?
What's your background then?
I'm a psychologist, oddly enough.
Oh no! And why am I laughing with such immature-ness at this whole thing then?
Don't ask me, I'm just a
You're
psychologist.
a psychologist, so you don't know?
Well, obviously being a psychologist, I have to assume that it's got something to do with your relationship with your mother and breastfeeding, I'm assuming.
I'm so embarrassed. I can't even remember. Do you know what? I don't remember whether I was breastfed. It was quite a long time ago. So, well, we've been talking about it. We've had quite a few come through, but I suppose I should let you say some. There are a couple in Coventry and Warwickshire, aren't there, actually?
There certainly are a few, yes. I mean, I understand that you've talked already about the fact that there's a Licky End in the Bromsgrove area.
Licky End, yeah.
And I think you've talked already about a Bell End as well.
Yeah, we talked about that one as well.
Are you aware of Minge Lane in Upton-on-Severn?
I'm not aware of its existence, but I am now. What about, we've had Hazley Knob as well.
That's a new one on me, actually.
Oh, have you not got, because you've got Bishop's Itchington.
Yes.
That's in one of your books, isn't it, Bishop's Itchington?
It is, and of course the nearby Long Itchington too.
Yeah, I think I prefer Bishop's Itchington.
Yes.
How do you get these? How on earth do you get these names? Where are they coming from? Are you driving round, just laughing at signs?
Just to underline again, there's no laughter at all on our side of this at all. Myself and Rob obviously regard this as a serious matter. But
I do apologise.
Absolutely.
I've got it all wrong, haven't I?
You clearly have. Clearly have. Basically, it's a combination of things. I mean, it first came about because we heard a news item about 4 years ago about a couple who'd bought a house in Butthole Road in Lancashire who'd felt the need to sell their house within a year of buying it because they just got tired of people assuming it was a rude joke. You know, people would ask them if they lived on the ring road, if they lived at the bottom of the street, that kind of thing. If they ordered a pizza, it wouldn't come because people assumed it was a joke address.
You can't get pizza if you live in Butthole Road.
It's simply impossible. So we thought, well, clearly we feel for the plight of these people, and we wondered if there were other people who would welcome the opportunity to have explanations put forward. So it's been a combination of internet searching, typing in, rude-sounding words into websites that contain streets and place names. We've also done extremely interesting things like reading the index of A to Zs for major cities and towns across the UK as well, which, as you can imagine, is a scintillating activity.
Do you know what? I know when you were a kid, you went through the dictionary, didn't you, looking for the rude words?
Well, I was a child at the time, so yes, I must confess I did.
Oh, sorry, when you said you went through the atlas, I was assuming you meant you do that now. What you're saying is that's what you did when you were younger.
That's right.
What would a psychologist say about that, I wonder?
Very revealing, I would imagine.
It is. Well, you are a psychologist, and then why do we find these funny still? Because we should be able to rise above this. Those poor people in Butthole Lane, they should be able to, order a pizza, for goodness sake. That's not fair.
Absolutely. Well, I basically think it's because that so much of us are told in all our lives that we shouldn't say these things, and the moment you repress a thing, it just finds another way of coming out. Much better that we revel in it.
So in actual fact, what we've done is been a very good service today.
It's basically been a psychological experiment, and I'm sure that the people that live in Minge Lane and Bell End will thank us for it.
I've got a newspaper in front of me. It's the Independent Extra, and they've got a picture of on their front cover of a street sign. I don't suppose you read that this week, did you?
Is it by any chance a reference to a village in Dorset called Shitterton?
No, I was going to say, be careful. I know these are... It's very difficult because they are real place names, so technically we're not really swearing, are we?
Well, exactly.
So I do apologise if anybody's offended, but these are all real place names. So what's next for you then? What are you going to do now? Have you exhausted the supply of rude words?
Well, we do have a database of about 500 of them, so we haven't used all of them yet. I don't know if the publishers would think that there's room for a fourth book. Rude UK at the moment is doing well, but I think that we'll have to see how it goes. The only thing is, it strikes me that a lot of this is about culture. It's all about the way that words are interpreted and how that changes over time and place. Rude World, where I think we might be on the brink of doing an edition in the United States.
Oh, but they won't go for that because they're all very kind of, they don't like it, do they, that kind of thing?
There is an element of that, yes. Although, interestingly, we might take a different tack, and they, for some reason, want to have a book that's overtly humorous, which, of course, Rob and I are entirely against.
Yes, and also Americans, they don't have much of a sense of humour, do they, anyway? As generally, as a nation. Some people say that, not me. That's what some people think. So, should I ask if there's any rude places in America, or are we likely to go right over the line?
There are some that, because people tend to interpret these things as rude, I probably shouldn't say. There is a place...
Don't then. if you're not sure, spell it.
Well, okay. There is a place in America called BEA.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
VER LICK.
Okay.
Can I say that?
Nope.
Listen, I can't say that.
Well, no. I don't know. You probably could, to be honest, but it's only occurred to me that we've been doing this all morning. It's half term. It's half term week, isn't it? All the kids are at home with the families, with the parents or the grandparents listening in. I don't know. Do you think you could say it? What do you think? Let's ask Stu, and we'll have... Stu says, you can say it. It'll be the last thing you ever say. Go for it.
Beaverlick.
Thank you very much. That's Ed Hurst, co-author of Rude Britain.
We'd go a long way to show you how much we...